The BCIB is coming back! Yo, what is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Phillies Satso videocast. Today we're going to be talking about the Phillies re-signing JT Realmuto. Now, guys, before we get into this video, please subscribe if you have not yet. Please turn on the notification bell. Please like this video, comment on this video, share this video, and let's get into this. So the Phillies have re-signed JT Realmuto to a 5-year, $115 million contract. The BCIB is returning. Thank God. He is coming back. I never doubted the Phillies. I will admit, at the beginning of the offseason, I did think he would sign with the New York Mets. After Steve Cohen, owner of the Mets, went out and signed James McCann, I became slightly more confident that Realmuto would return to the Phils. But especially, I really became confident after the signing of George Springer by the Toronto Blue Jays. That took a big fish out of the running for JT Realmuto, and I did think that he would fall into the Phillies' lap. And I predicted this to actually happen in February. It ends up happening the last week of January. And Philly sports content, I will give you credit. He's one who called it. He said final week in January. I said, I think that's a little too early. Ends up being the final week in January. So I'm sure you're probably watching this video because you do watch all my videos. So a little shout out to you right there. You did get that timing right. But this is a great deal for both sides, as I said. I think Realmuto got what he wanted, and I think the Phillies got what they wanted. I mean, no other team needed Realmuto more. The Phillies really need to get him back. I mean, like with Cisco Sanchez, going to Miami and being amazing. I mean, they had no choice but to just go out and spend the money for Realmuto. And it wasn't like they overpaid. It wasn't like, it was some 7-year deal or something like that, worth over, 150 plus. And you saw Realmuto putting out, some stuff that he wanted $200 million. He didn't even get close to that. I didn't think he would. So this is around the amount of money I thought that he'd sign for. Honestly, I think I was on here a little bit, maybe a couple months ago, saying that maybe he would sign for less than $100 million. Well, he ends up getting 115, and you saw the initial report last week that it was around 110. It seemed like a little low. So I think he just wanted to break that AAV barrier. He wanted to get the mark for the highest, annual value by a catcher ever. So he did break that. Joe Mauer. He did break Joe Mauer's record, so now he holds the highest title for AAV, so by a catcher. So I'm sure he's pretty happy about that. But you saw that with Harper too. He wanted to beat Giancarlo Stanton's, massive contract that he signed with the Marlins. It's all about breaking records and doing all that kind of stuff. And first of all, I'd like to apologize, for not getting this video out yesterday. I had midterms this week in my school. I've been extremely busy. Yes, I had time to get the Jack Fritz video out, but that was already scheduled for 8 p.m. On a Tuesday. So that was already fitting into my schedule. The Realmuto video, of course, was just a surprise. I didn't really expect it to happen. So I am super, super stoked about this news. As I said, 5 years, $115 million. Now let's take a look at the Bryce Harper aspect of this. He was pushing hard for the Phillies to re-sign JT. I mean, they were really, really good friends. You saw the Realmutos flew out to Las Vegas in October to have dinner with the Harpers. And you know what? Harper has got to be happy. You saw he went on his Instagram and made that post with them, high-fiving each other. He is hype as can be, I'm sure. And once again, he definitely played a part in this. He's like, get JT back. Get JT back. And now we have a catcher for the next 5 years. And I asked Jack Fritz when he was on here last night, I said, does 7 years of JT Realmuto justify trading away Cisco Sanchez, Jorge Alfaro, and Will Stewart? And he said, I'm not really sure, because it's going to be interesting to see how Cisco plays out, because he just is looking like such a superstar in Miami. But it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. 21 days until pitchers and catchers report. It's good to know that Realmuto will be getting a full spring training. I discussed this a couple weeks ago about my concerns of Realmuto showing up late to camp, not establishing a pitcher and catcher relationship, which is extremely important. It's really, really important for the pitchers and catchers to bond, of course. And if he's going to be showing up late to camp like that because he's going to be signing late, it's not going to be it's not going to be a good sign. It's not going to be a good sign. He's going to be a little bit out of it. He's going to have to play catch up. Well, it turns out he signs 22 days prior to pitchers and catchers reporting, because he did sign yesterday. So at that time, 22 days away from pitchers and catchers reporting, now 21 days. So I'm super, super stoked about pitchers and catchers reporting. Today is January 27th. We're moving through the month of January here, ladies and gentlemen. Getting on to February. Of course, you guys know I am not a fan of winter. I'm not a fan this time of year. But let's just see how JT does. I mean, he's going to go out there. He's going to hit 270 to 280. He's going to hit 25, even 30 home runs. He could definitely hit 30. In our little ballpark, he could definitely hit 30. He's going to have, elite defense. He's just going to be throwing all these guys out. He is just amazing. And finally, we got him back. My, oh my. I mean, JT has been signed, ladies and gentlemen. And once again, I didn't really have any doubt. I really didn't have any doubt. I mean, I knew it was going on for a while. It almost reminded me a little bit of the Harper 2 years ago when he signed. I mean, it didn't drag out as long, and there wasn't as much drama about it. But you saw the report that John Heyman put out yesterday. I think it was around maybe like 10:30 in the morning. He says, momentum moving towards a deal here. It looks like the Realmuto, guru is going to end here. Pretty soon. Looks like the Phillies are the favorites. You saw that the Braves were rumored to be circling in. As Jack Fritz said last night, he said, I think that was just a lot of smoke screening. I was the one that said that too on the weekly update on Sunday. I said that is agent. The agent's just trying to do their job. They're trying to stir up trouble. They're trying to get the Phillies to raise their offer. Well, guess what? They did a little bit. I mean, they raised it by $5 million because the initial reporting of last week was it was around 110. As I said, that explains it. Realmuto wanted to beat the highest AAV as a catcher, which he did, and that's why he signed. That was the deal breaker right there. And I think now he just realized, he said, hey, listen, I mean, would I like to get a little more than this? Yes. But he said, you know what? I can't get any more than this. This is the best I can get. A 5-year, $150 million contract is probably the best I can get. And the Phillies had no choice but to do this. The fan pressure was enormous. Everywhere you went on a Phillies community, on Twitter or Instagram or, even YouTube, it was sign JT, sign JT, sign JT. And you see Archie Bradley, Phillies new, bullpen acquisition, putting out on us, Twitter, he tweets out, says sign JT. So it was just everywhere. Harper, I even think they might have asked Harper to stop. Because every day, not every day, but, so many times, so frequently, he was putting on his story. He just would post something, random and ordinary. And, like, in the lower right-hand corner, you just would see a little hashtag sign JT thing. And, initially, it just stopped. Eventually, it just stopped. And that's why I think maybe the Phillies maybe asked him to say, hey, tone it down a little bit with that. Let us do our jobs. But Bryce Harper definitely played a role in this. You cannot tell me. And I don't care what Bryce Harper says. They're going to ask him when he gets to Clearwater. They're going to be like, hey, did you play any, position? And, the Phillies re-signed JT Realmuto. Of course, he doesn't hold a position in the front office. You can guarantee he was making phone calls saying, sign JT, get my man back. We need this guy for our team. But this is extremely important to get him there 21 days before spring training starts. It's extremely important that we got him back on our roster. That way he can establish a proper relationship with the pitchers and with the pitchers and the other catchers. Most importantly, the pitchers, because, hey, just the backup catchers like Andrew Knapp and, Rafael Marquand, I mean, big deal. And also Christian Bethancourt, a guy we brought in a minor league contract. But, you know what, this is extremely important, and we got JT Realmuto back. And in my opinion, I was really, really down among the Phillies getting Realmuto back in September. You see Matt Klentak come on saying, hey, we're content with just 2 years to JT Realmuto. We knew that going in. I thought it was over. I knew that Steve Cohen was going to be purchasing the Mets. I said he's going to want to make a big splash. He's going to just, steal division, player from the division rival like the Phillies did with Bryce Harper with the Nationals. I said it makes all the sense in the world. Realmuto to the Mets is a perfect fit. And it was a perfect fit up until them signing James McCann, which I still don't understand why Steve Cohen chose James McCann over JT Realmuto. But once again, hey, thank you. Thank you, Steve Cohen. Thank you for not stealing JT Realmuto from the Phillies, because I guarantee you, if the Mets were, in play, it would have been over. I guarantee you, the Mets would have paid him. They would have paid him. Would have definitely outbid us. And even the Blue Jays scared me a little bit, because you saw the money that they gave George Springer. Crazy money, stupid money. It was crazy. It was crazy. And even Mike Rizzo, GM and president of the Washington Nationals, he is sneaky. The Nationals actually just went out and signed Brad Hand a couple days ago on a 1-year, $10 million contract. Did you hear the Nationals' name even connected to Brad Hand? No, Mike Rizzo, he just comes in, he's like, oh, well, we're just, slightly interested in this guy. Then he comes in and he swoops in and he's like, bam, signed him. Mike Rizzo is sneaky. You don't trust Rizzo, man. You never count Rizzo out. Look at Patrick Corbin 2 years ago. The Phillies and Yankees were the top dogs to land Patrick Corbin. It's like, oh, the Nationals are meeting with him. I remember laughing about that. And then 2 days later, deal in place with Patrick Corbin and the Nationals. I'm like, what? I mean, it's just crazy. Mike Rizzo, he is a sneaky guy. You cannot trust Mike Rizzo. So I'm so glad that this is all over. The uncertainty is over. JT, we know, is coming back. And honestly, I had a lot of confidence. I'm not going to lie. I think you guys know that. Recently, I had a lot of confidence about JT Realmuto returning to the Phillies. I mean, some of the initial reports coming out in December about them having financial problems and, possibly dealing Zach Wheeler. That gave me a little bit of uncertainty. But I think after the James McCann signing, and especially after the George Springer signing with the Toronto Blue Jays, I pretty much could take it to the bank and say, hey, Realmuto is returning to the Phillies. As I said, teams that concern me, after the Blue Jays were owning the Nationals. The Braves never scared me. They had Travis d'Arnaud, who he was killing it in 2020. Why the heck would they need JT Realmuto? And what I read was, and once again, I do think this is still smoke screening, was that the Braves wanted a short-term deal. They did not want to go long-term. They wanted like a 1 to 2 year deal, which doesn't make any sense because Travis d'Arnaud is going to be under contract after this year. So he's going to be electing free agency after this season. So yeah, guys, it is over. The wait is over. JT Realmuto will be a Philadelphia Philly for the next 5 seasons. So next order of business. Freddie Galvis signs with the Baltimore Orioles. Andrelton Simmons signs with the Minnesota Twins. So 2 shortstop off the board. Didi or bust for the Phils. Didi or bust for the Phils. So I think Didi, all signs are pointing to a Didi Phillies signing. I think the Reds, they're already having money problems. I don't think they can afford it. They're trying to dump Moustakas' contract. I don't think that's going to work. Good luck trying to get rid of Mike Moustakas. So I think, all signs are pointing, the Yankees just went out and, a couple weeks, I think it was like a week and a half ago and re-signed DJ and Mayhew. So that counts the Yankees out for Didi. So I think it's either the Reds or the Phillies for Didi. And a video coming on Friday discussing are the Phillies going to re-sign Didi Gregorius? And I think they will. I had Jack Fritz coming on here last night. Go and watch that video, by the way. Most recent one prior to this video. He talked a little bit about it. We talked a little bit about it. The Phillies' chances of signing Didi Gregorius, and I do think we will get him back. But the most important thing is right now, going out and stacking up in the bullpen. I think, this was a little domino needed to fall. I think that this was a major priority for the Phillies to retain JT Realmuto and re-sign JT Realmuto. This is the fan pressure and trading away, some core prospects in the organization like Cisco Sanchez. This is a very, very big thing here for the Phillies. I'm very, very confident about our offense. I'm glad that we don't have to, play with Andrew Knapp or Rafael Marquez. Those guys are going to be our backups. Do you possibly see us trade Rafael Marquez for a bullpen piece? I don't think it'd be a bad idea. So, Andrew Knapp, definitely the BBCIB, best backup catcher in baseball. You heard it here first. Once again, this is a great signing for both sides. Realmuto, I think, got what he wanted. In certain aspects, I think that, he did want. You saw he went out and said he wanted $200 million. I don't think he was serious about that. Like, if he wasn't, he's really foolish. No catcher's going to get that kind of money. But I think, he broke Joe Mauer's record. I think that was really important for him. The Phillies got him for a reasonable price. It still, allows them to have some flexibility. This is a win-win for both sides here, ladies and gentlemen. I just couldn't be more happy about it. I think it happened sooner than I thought. And once again, I'm so happy. 3 weeks before pitchers and catchers report, Realmuto is officially a Philadelphia Philly. The Phillies organization has still not come out and said that yet. You saw, I think it was John Clark that said, I just talked to JT and Lexi, Lexi is JT's wife. They're happy to be here in Philadelphia for the next 5 years. And you saw Kayla Harper put something on her story about it. So, that pretty much makes it official right there. If that was official, they'd say, hey, don't put it on the story. So, of course, the organization has to be professional and do it in an orderly fashion and announce it on the Instagram and have a press conference about it. So, it's pretty much a done deal here, ladies and gentlemen. It pretty is official. He's not officially on our roster yet. He still hasn't signed the name to the contract, but it's pretty official. The press conference is probably going to be in a couple days. So, JT Realmuto has re-signed with the Philadelphia Phillies. 5 years, $115 million. I love this move. Thank God we got JT back. Hopefully Didi coming back soon. Some more bullpen pieces. Jack Fritz does not think the Phillies are done in the bullpen, so hopefully he is right. Hopefully we could go stack up in that bullpen even more. Curt Schilling did not make the Hall of Fame. He wants his name removed for 2022. Former Philly Curt Schilling. I think he's being a little bit salty about it. He didn't make it, so now he's going to put up a big fuss about it. I think that's a bit immature, but, I got to respect Curt Schilling for what he did in a Phillies uniform. So, guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Please subscribe if you have not yet. Please turn on the notification bell. Please like this video, comment on this video, share this video. Check out those social media link description section. Have Phillies House on Instagram, TikTok, Instagram. Card text 267-225-3392. Email me, phillieshouse@gmail.com. JT Realmuto coming back to the Phillies. 5 years, $115 million. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I am Luke, and I will talk to y'all later. I'll see you guys.